Hello and welcome back to the session. So in the earlier part, we understood what is passage comprehension. I explained to you the question pattern for AP ICET and the syllabus for communication ability. So I'm starting backward. I'm starting with passage comprehension. In the last session, we understood what do we mean by passage comprehension, what are the areas that you need to focus on, what are the approach that you need to adopt for being perfect with passage comprehension. Now we're going to look at certain examples in terms of passage comprehension. So I'm going to read out a passage, then that will be followed by 5 questions, and we'll answer each of these questions one by one and understand how to answer these questions. All right. So let's begin. The first passage on your screen. I'm going to read this out now very slowly. Soft-bodied animals like caterpillars often fall a prey to voracious hunters like birds or reptiles. What do we mean by caterpillars? So, I don't know what do you call caterpillar in Telugu. Okay, so this is a caterpillar. You see this? Let me expand for you. So that's a caterpillar. So this is actually a caterpillar. It's a worm. It becomes a butterfly later, right? So it says soft-bodied animals like caterpillars often fall a prey to voracious hunters, or voracious basically means cruel hunters, dangerous hunters like birds or reptiles. We understand what a reptile is. Reptile is like a lizard. Birds like crows, eagles, these birds, they eat all these insects. Despite having no means to actively defend themselves with weapons like claws or jaws, they have nevertheless evolved other equally effective deterrents. Deterrent means a roadblock or an obstacle. What do we mean by claws and jaws? Claws basically means the fingernails of animals like this. So what it says is a caterpillar doesn't have these claws, neither it has jaws. What do we mean by jaw? Like this, right? This is a jaw of an animal, of an insect. So it does not have any claws or jaws because they look like this. They don't have any kind of safety mechanism to stop the birds from hunting them. Despite having no means to actively defend themselves with weapons like claws or jaws, they have nevertheless or nonetheless evolved other equally effective deterrents. A particular species of the caterpillar lives at an altitude over 2,500 meters in the Himalayas. It uses prominent color to inform would-be predators of its edibility. In the event that an inexperienced or adventurous bird did eat the caterpillar, it would probably vomit it soon after and subsequently desist from attacking similar species in future. Desist means avoid. Though this would do the unfortunate victim no good, the species benefit. A rare example of a martyr among animals. So basically means these insects like those small caterpillars, there is one species which lives in the Himalayas above 2,500 meters altitude. Now the birds, other reptiles like lizards, they eat these small caterpillars. These caterpillars do not have any kind of weapon, it doesn't have a claw or a very strong jaw. So how will it safeguard itself? It doesn't have. That's why the body of these caterpillars are very bright in color. It attracts all these predators, these birds, hunters. but the moment they eat them and chew them, they immediately vomit because it tastes very bad. It's really pathetic, right? What happens is the caterpillar is anyways dead, but the bird will not attack a similar caterpillar in the future. That's why this is taken as an example of a martyr. What do we mean by martyr? Like a soldier who is martyred in a war. A soldier gives up his life for the benefit of the country, benefit of the nation. Likewise, this caterpillar dies. Even though it dies, it helps the entire species live because that bird or lizard will not attack any of such similar caterpillars. That is what the passage is about. Now let's look at the question. Question number 1. The expression other equally effective deterrent means preventive weapons which have equal effect on others, mechanism which scares everyone equally well, preventive equipment which it is as effective as something that has been already mentioned in the passage, deterrents that are powerful as those the caterpillars have. Now if you look at these options, they all are sounding similar. You need to pick the most appropriate one. The other equally effective deterrents means here it says it does not have claws or jaws, but it has equally effective deterrent. What is that? It cannot, even though it looks that it can be eaten, but these predators immediately vomit them out. So the correct answer is B, mechanism which scares everyone equally well. Why am I saying equally well? Because the question says other equally effective deterrents. If I have long claw, if the caterpillar has long claw, the birds will get scared. If it has very strong jaws, it will get scared. Even though it doesn't have these two, it's equally effective when it's bright in color and tastes very bad. That's why option B is the correct answer, mechanism which scares everyone equally well. Question number 2. Experienced birds do not attack the Himalayan caterpillars because they are repulsive, very aggressive, inedible, diseased. Repulsive is opposite of attractive, but that is not the case. The caterpillars do look very attractive because of the color. So repulsive is not the answer. Is it very aggressive? No, it is not. It does not have claws or jaws. It is not aggressive. Inedible means something that cannot be eaten. Diseased means something which has a disease. So diseased is not correct. Very aggressive is not correct. Repulsive is not correct. So the correct answer is option C, inedible, means it cannot be eaten. The Himalayan caterpillar uses prominent colors to warn the predator, attack the predator, reveal itself, defend itself. So it's meant to warn that please don't eat me. If you eat me, I will taste bad. So next time the bird will not eat any such caterpillar. So it's warning. Those colors are like warning. That's why A is the correct answer. The Himalayan caterpillar uses prominent colors to warn the predator. Next question. Caterpillars cannot defend themselves because they are passive animals, because they are lazy, because they cannot acquire weapons, because they have no claws or jaws. Very easy. Option D is the correct answer. Next, in the context of this passage, a martyr is one who dies without putting up resistance, means without fighting, without any gain to oneself, means the martyr is not gaining anything, he is just giving his life away to support everybody else, to help everybody else, while defending one's homeland or to save others. And the correct answer is to save others. Even though this particular caterpillar dies, but it saves others because the birds will not attack those kind of caterpillars anymore. So what happened? We read the passage very slowly, we understood some of the keywords, and then we answered the question. That's exactly what you need to do. Okay. Let's look at another example of a passage comprehension. Here is your next passage. Science, whatever unpleasant consequences it may have by the way, is in its very nature a liberator of bondage to physical nature, and in time to come a liberator from the weight of destructive passions. We are on the threshold of utter disaster or unprecedentedly glorious achievements. No previous age has been fraught with problems so momentous. It is to science that we must look to for happy future. It's basically talking about the pros and cons of science. Is science a boon or a curse? We are looking at a time because of science things are going wrong, but it's science again which needs to get things better. We'll read the passage again slowly. Science, whatever unpleasant consequences it may have by the way, is in its very nature a liberator. Liberator means something that gives you freedom. A liberator of bondage means resistance, bondage to physical nature, and in time to come a liberator from the weight of destructive passions. We are on the threshold of utter disaster or unprecedentedly glorious achievement. No previous age has been fraught with problems so momentous. Momentous means huge, big, and it is to science that we must look to for a happy future. What does science liberate us from? It liberates us from fears and destructive passions, slavery to physical nature and from passions, bondage to physical nature, idealistic hopes of glorious future. Idealistic means ideally everything is fine, but practically it's not. So it's slavery to physical nature and from passion. Slavery means where you become a slave to something. So science gives you freedom from being a slave. Next question. Should human sciences be developed because they will provide more knowledge of the physical world, make us conscious of the changing world, make us conscious of the change in ourselves, eliminate the destruction caused by superficial knowledge of the physical world? Let's read that again. Should human sciences be developed because they will provide more knowledge of the physical world, make us conscious of the changing world, make us conscious of the change in ourselves, eliminate the destruction caused by superficial knowledge of the physical world? So why should we develop human science? We should develop human science to eliminate the destruction caused by superficial knowledge of the physical world. What do we mean by superficial knowledge? Superficial means on the surface level. We don't have any in-depth knowledge. We have only superficial knowledge. If we apply science, it will help us understand the logic behind it, in-depth knowledge behind it. All right. Next question. If a man's bestial yearning is controlled, yearning means desire or the most strong desire. If a man's bestial yearning is controlled, the future will be tolerable, means you can tolerate the future. The future will be brighter than the present. The present will be brighter than the future. The present will become tolerable, means the present will be something that you can accept. Here tolerable means acceptance. And the correct answer is where the future is becoming better than the present. Very, very straightforward, right? If we control our desires, unwanted desires, then our future will be better than what our present is. Next question. Fears and hopes, according to the author, are closely linked with the life of modern man, can bear fruit, can yield good results, are irrational. Now, if you look at this question, the answer is not clear-cut mentioned on the passage. So, you need to understand the gist of the passage, the summary of the passage. The question says, as per the author, what does fears and hopes mean? Fears and hopes mean they are closely linked with the life of a modern man. Can bear fruit means it's useful. Can yield good results means it can lead to good result. If you fear something or if you have hopes, high hopes, it's good. Irrational means where you're not being partial to anything. Of course, the correct answer is the first one, that they are closely linked with the life of a modern man. Today, the modern man or woman has so many desires. At the same time, they have hopes, they have fear as well. We always fear. There is a saying that a rich man can sleep peacefully because he has everything. A poor man can sleep peacefully because he has nothing. The person in between, he is hoping to be a rich man, but he knows that if he spends all his money, he will become a poor man, so he is nowhere. So we are always in that race to become something else which we are not. That is what it means. To carve out, this is the last question on this passage, to carve out a bright future, man should analyze the dangers that lie ahead, try to avoid dangers, overcome fear and dangers, cultivate a positive outlook. Very philosophical question, but very true. To carve out means to build a bright future, a man should cultivate a positive outlook. So we read a passage, we understand it, and then we look at the answer for the questions. Now, some of the answers could be tricky, some of the questions could be tricky. So you need to understand what exactly the author is trying to say in the passage. Okay? Let's look at one last example for today. Courage is not only the basis of virtue, it is expression, faith. Sorry, I want to pick a different one, I'm sorry. All right, here is the one. In the world today, we make health an end in itself. We have forgotten that health really means to enable a person to do his work or do it well. A lot of modern medicine, this includes many patients as well as many physicians, pay very little attention to health, but very much attention to those who imagine that they are ill. Basically, we need to understand the importance of health. In today's world, the doctor is only focusing on an assumption of a person that I have a disease. I have met a lot of people who actually take 10 to 15 tablets a day. When I ask them, why do you take these many tablets, they say, because I am not well. I have a problem, I have a health problem. They don't have a health problem, they think they have a health problem. There is a saying in English, if you feel sick, you will fall sick. So if you feel that you are unwell, you will actually fall unwell. So people these days, they think that they have a disease, and doctors are making money of this thought process. That is what this passage is all about. All right, let's read this further. Our great concern with health is shown by the medical columns in the newspaper, the health articles in popular magazines and popularity television programs, and all those books on medicines. We talk about health all the time, yet for the most part, the only result is more people with imaginary illness. The healthy man should not be wasting time talking about his health. He should be using health for work. This work does the work that good health possible. So if you think you are healthy, you will be healthy, and that is what will make you productive. Now let's look at the first question. Modern medicine is primarily concerned with promotion of good health, people suffering from imaginary illness, they just imagine they have an illness, people suffering from real illness, increased efficiency in work. Of course, the correct answer is B. The modern medicine only focuses on people who think they have a disease. So, people suffering with imaginary illness. The passage suggests that health is an end in itself, health is blessing, health is only means to an end. We should not talk about health. So D is incorrect, of course. C is the correct answer. Health is only means to an end. It only helps, right? Next, talking about the health all the time makes people always suffer from imaginary illness, sometimes suffer from imaginary illness, rarely suffer from imaginary illness, often suffer from imaginary illness. Often means very often, lot of times. So hence D is the correct answer. It's not always or sometimes, it's often. The passage tells us how medicine should be manufactured, or it tells us what healthy man should or should not do, what television programs should be about, how best to imagine illness. D and C definitely not the answer. B is the correct answer. The passage tells us what healthy man should or should not do. What should he do? He should be active, he should be healthy, but he should not overthink about his health and imagine that he or she has a disease. Next question, a healthy man should be concerned with his work which good health makes possible, looking after his health which makes work possible, talking about health. So work, a good work will make you good health, or good health will make a good work. Of course, a good health will make good work. His work which is good health makes possible. So 5 questions each passage. We looked at 3 different passages today. What else did we learn? We learnt what exactly do we mean by passage comprehension, and please remember 3 areas where students fail in terms of passage comprehension. Number 1, they don't understand the question. What is the solution for it? Read the question slowly, look at the option, that will help you understand. Number 2, they don't understand specific words in a passage. What is the solution? Read the sentences before that word and after that word. Then when you put everything together, you will be able to understand what it actually means. Number 3, you don't have enough time to read the passage and then answer the questions. So what is the approach you need to follow? QP approach. Questions first, passage next. Read all the question stems, then read the passage once. You will know where the answers lie in that passage. Alright? I hope today's session was helpful. Tomorrow we will do functional grammar. Functional grammar, I will explain to you the parts of speech. I will show you examples of some of these parts of speech, and we'll look at least 10 to 15 sample questions of each of these parts of speech. I hope the session was useful and helpful. If you have any questions, any clarification, or there's any doubt that you need clarification on the YouTube link for today is 21st of April, you will see the caption on this particular YouTube channel, Mana TV, AMARAVATI if I'm right. So look for 21st of April, ICET communication ability passage comprehension. On that video, on the comment section or the comment section, post your comments. I will take a look and I will provide you with the answer. Alright. Thank you so much. You have a great day ahead. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.